Hello, hello, hello. I want to bring you a story about a lawsuit on the Kappa Kappa Gamma Omnicron chapter of the University of Wyoming. But before we get into this story, please go ahead and hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification all button. But I want to tell you who Kappa Kappa Gamma is before getting into the actual story. Kappa Kappa Gamma is an organization was founded in 1870, making it one of the oldest women's fraternities. Now keep that in mind, women's fraternity. Now the Gamma Omicron chapter at the University of Wyoming, however, has been active since 1927. Kappa's core values are based on friendship, leadership, and scholarship. And these values are what unite all our members throughout the generations of our organization. We promote a broad college experience based on intellectual development and self-growth, as well as involvement within the chapter and around UW's campus. As Kappas, we're always looking for opportunities to dream boldly and live fully as we give back and inspire positive change. We focus on three pillars of philanthropy. Our internal philanthropy is the Kappa Kappa Gamma Foundation. Our national philanthropy supports mental health organizations, and our chapter works locally with the Albany County SAFE Project. In the pursuit of our mission to inspire positive change, Kappa partners with several nonprofit organizations that help advocate for a brighter future of mental health and well-being. These national organizations include Active Minds, the JED Foundation, National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, Mental Health America, and the National Eating Disorders Association, NEDA. The Kappa Kappa Gamma's Foundation helps Kappa pursue life's opportunities by funding impactful programs, including scholarships, financial assistance grants, member education, and history and heritage. Recently, the Kappa Foundation provided a grant for Talkspace, an online platform that makes it convenient to access mental health resources and paves the way for accessible mental health care. The grant makes the service free of charge to collegiate members and provides a discount for alumni. We also partner with a local nonprofit organization in the Laramie community. The Albany County SAFE Project supports survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, and family violence. In 2022, they raised over $5,000 for victims of this violence, and all funds went directly to the cause. Now, the involvement of the members on campus includes leadership roles on the UW Panhellenic Council, Kappa intramural sports teams, participating in the big event, attending and donating to philanthropies for other chapters on campus, honors college membership, UW athletics, various RSOs on campus, Martyr Board, Order of Omega, and more. Now let's get into the mission statement. Kappa Kappa Gamma is an organization of women. Now you see these women here. Women, which seeks for every member throughout her life, bonds of friendship, mutual support, opportunities for self-growth, respect for intellectual development, and an understanding and an allegiance to positive ethical principles. Now let's get into this lawsuit. Now, the Kappa Kappa Gamma sisters' lawsuit was previously tossed. It was dismissed by a judge who said bylaws did not define a woman. Now, I want to stop right there for a moment before I continue with this lawsuit, because we all know what defines a woman. And when we look at the Bible, whether you believe in God or not, or the Bible, God created Adam and Eve. And we know that Eve was created from Adam's rib. So God didn't make any mistake. He created biologically male and biologically female. It was his idea. He didn't make a mistake. And it was a great idea that he did that. So we know that there's only two genders, male and female. And so no matter what it looks like when it comes to someone trying to take on a female role or a male role, when they were born biologically a female or male, they're always going to be what they were born. That DNA will not change no matter how many drugs or hormones is taken. The look may change a little, and you can dress up, to be someone other than what you were born, but you're still going to have the DNA, you're still going to have that that urge and desiring you as a male to be attracted to the opposite sex. Now, I'm not going to get into all that other stuff, you know, about the bi stuff, you know, the BIS. I'm not getting into all that. I'm talking about a biologically born female and biologically born males, and they're wanting to join into female spaces. They want to participate in female sports and female sororities. And so, getting into this lawsuit, the University of Wyoming sorority members appealed the admission of this transgender student who has been born biologically male into their local chapter in federal appellate court Tuesday. And so the three-judge court heard arguments from both sides without ruling. Now, with one judge casting doubt on whether the court should even hear the case, former college swimmer and women's rights activist Riley Gaines was in attendance to support the plaintiffs. Now, if you remember, I did a video on Riley Gaines, and she's a professional, a former college swimmer, professional, and she's a women's rights activist. And she took on Leah, and I believe that's who the swimmer was, transgender, that wanted to impede into the women's event, okay, in swimming. And they had to get up on this stand and stand next to Leah, who won in the women's league, right, in their event, because, in my opinion, Leah feels like she cannot compete with biologically men, even though Leah was born biologically male and goes by the name of Leah, which is traditionally a female name. And I'm seeing this more and more where men are not able to compete with other biologically born men, so they choose to step over into the female sector, and they are being not only just invited, but they are being admitted. They are being allowed, to, join in female spaces. And so District Judge Alan Johnson sided with Langford and the local chapter last summer, stating that sorority bylaws did not explicitly define what a woman is. Now keep that in mind. So the appeal claimed Johnson gave too much defense to sorority leaders who created their own definitions of women. Langford is not included in the appeal. Instead, the sorority sisters have named the National KKG sorority and its president, Mary Pat Rooney, as defendants. Kappa's directors have a simple duty. They must respect the clear terms of Kappa's bylaws. They utterly failed to do so by ending the sorority's women-only membership and threatening existing members to accept the unlawful change or else lose their own membership, the sorority sisters' attorney, May Melman, said, according to a preview of oral arguments. Now, in here it's saying that they were threatened. And it almost like bullying, threatened, that if they didn't accept the unlawful change, they would lose their membership. And the fact is that we know what a real woman is. And all of us that were born biologically female know what it's like to be a female and a woman. We know what it's like. And eventually a young girl is going to grow up to know what it's like to be a woman. And so we are looking at a very problematic situation here in our American society. Because when it gets down to saying that they can't define who a real woman is, we already know by science what a real woman is. We already know by the Bible what a real woman is. And we know as women what a real woman is. And I'm not an attorney, but I'm not trying to say anything against May Melman, but I would have took signs in there. I would have took the Bible in there. And I also would have gave some personal, examples of what a real woman is. Because number one, a man will never be able to have children, bear children. A man biologically born will never have menstruation cycles, will never go through menopause, will never have any postpartum depression from a woman's perspective. A real biological man, biologically born man, will never be able to experience any of that. And so I would have took basic information in there. You see what I'm saying? Because there is no reason, though, that we as women have to fight for who we really are when we've been biologically born a woman. And so it's getting down to the wire of fighting for who we are as biologically born females. Because anytime you say something like this, that you can't explicitly define who a real woman is, that's very problematic. And so back to this lawsuit, if this fight were about any other common term, the violation would be obvious. Gender ideology is not a reason to upend simple legal principles. Now, that's true. If your ideology of a gender is to be a female when you were born a biologically male or vice versa, you still shouldn't be violating bylaws and upending them because someone chooses to say they're this person, and so I want to join a female sorority because this is who I identify, even though you are not biologically born to be what that gender is, right? And so we're going to be dealing with this, and I believe it's going to get worse before it gets better. Now, Melvin told the judges Tuesday the National Sorority Council was unfair to sorority members by changing who could belong. She argued that by allowing transgender women into the chapter at the University, the National Sorority Council and president violated their obligation to sorority members to faithfully follow sorority bylaws. Now, KKG attorney Natalie McLaughlin argued that state law in Ohio, where the organization is based, gives wide leeway to define terms in those bylaws, including who is a woman. Well, I wouldn't want to live in Ohio, and nothing against Ohio, for all the people that are doing what they're supposed to do and living their best life, and doing what's right. Big ups to you all, but I wouldn't want to live in Ohio if I had to deal with who is defined as a woman when we know who's defined as a woman. And so me being an advocate, because I support women's sports all the way. I don't agree that biologically born males should be able to participate in women events in sports. They should have their own event. They should not be impeding or allowed to impede, intrude, and topple over female biologically born women. I believe that women should have safe spaces. I believe that women should be able to participate in their own leagues and have their own safe spaces just like men do. I also believe that we as biologically born women are going to have to continue to fight. And whether you agree with sororities or whether you are into sports or not, whether you're an athlete or not, I believe that we're truly going to have to continue to stand up and to fight and to bring awareness to these stories, because if we don't, we are going to be probably, even though we're still existing, they're going to try to wipe us out to appease to the sins of the world. There are standards of the world, and then there's God's standards, and we are to be set apart, especially believers. And so if you are a believer, you know what I'm talking about. If you've been following my channel, you know what I'm talking about. Now, if you are a non-believer, that's fine as well, but I still want to hear from anyone that will come over here and give me your opinion. Now, I don't support hate speech and cursing and vile language on my channel. I don't. So please do not come over here with that. And this is not an anti-hate video. This is not an anti-anything. This is speaking what public information is, and I am commenting on it. And what my beliefs are, I have a right to those beliefs. I was born biologically female with 7 brothers in my household. Trust me on that. And so at the end of the day, and I know I'm not the only one, because I met someone last week at a revival, and they have 9 sons and 2 daughters. So I understand very well. And then I met someone else that has all brothers, and there's them and they have no sisters. So we pretty much know, and I'm pretty sure a whole bunch of other women that were born biologically female know what a real woman is. And so we gonna have to continue to fight, because what's gonna be next? All women colleges, women ministries at church, women groups, whether they're in church or outside the church. What's gonna be next? You know, because we already see them wearing women clothes, wearing women's shoes. I had the opportunity to see a picture of a former NBA basketball star, and their son had on some open-toe sandals. He was dressed up as a female, but some open-toe sandals. And I'm like, okay. So all I'm saying is they're going to do them. But when it comes to women spaces and groups and organizations, you know, and sports, we're going to have to stand up for who we are as biologically born women. Now, getting back to this, the appellate judges questioned whether they could even rule on the sorority members' appeal or if the lower court should continue to hear the case. Now, the district judge dismissed the case without prejudice, as I said to you all last prejudice, and this is what happened last year in a ruling that suggested the lawsuit could be refiled in the court. So it was a lawsuit that could be refiled. So obviously refiled without prejudice means they can refile it, because if it's with prejudice, that means it can't be filed, but without prejudice. So this some of the judges suggested could affect the ability to appeal. Now, it seems to me it's not final. Appellate Judge Carolyn McHugh told Mailman, according to Cowboy State Daily. Now, Mailman argued that the district court's decision gave enough justification for an appeal, because they didn't say that it could not be appealed. You know what I'm saying? Because if that was the case, the judge should have put that down there, that it was dismissed with prejudice, but he didn't put with or without. So that gives an open door, obviously, for justification for an appeal to happen. So, but Judge Richard Federico appeared to agree with McHugh. Now, Langford was accused of peeping behavior in a lawsuit which was later dismissed. Okay, they filed a lawsuit and it was dismissed, but he was peeping on these females. And you know, that's kind of creepy if you're a biologically born female and you're making biologically born females uncomfortable, and you're peeping in on them. And there's something else I'm going to share with you along the way that they accused him of. Okay, now I'm not, like I said, showing this picture, but allegedly there is something else that he allegedly did. Or it happened naturally. And most of you may already know. But anyway, after the hearing, Gaines, along with other members of the Independent Women's Forum, which is the IWF, and that's Riley Gaines again, held a Save Sisterhood press conference to discuss the lawsuit and call for the sorority and university to recognize women's rights. Today, during oral arguments, Kappa said that they could not define what a woman is, that this is a word that doesn't have just one singular definition, and there are multiple definitions. Now, I have to say that that is misleading. And that's a lie, that a woman has many definitions. No, it's not. And that's a misconception. And I hope that people don't be deceived and allow themselves to be deceived by this, because a woman is a woman. God already defined who a female is, who a woman is in the Bible. He created Eve, and he defined her as a woman, and he created her from Adam's rib. So therefore, it does not have a lot of definitions. It's one definition: a woman who is biologically born female, period, point blank. One that can have menstruations, one that can have babies, one that can carry babies, one that can get pregnant and can be conceived by a male sperm, a biologically born male sperm. Okay, so when we really look at this, no, it's one definition of who a woman is: a woman that's going to go through more than likely menopause, a female woman. And a biologically born male will never be able to be a woman. They'll never be able to have children. They'll never be able to have a menstruation. They will not be able to have those things. They're always going to have that male DNA in them. They're always going to have that. And if you think about the Jenner, changing his name and all this stuff, and now he regrets having the surgery. So at the end of the day, you know, we know who a woman is: a biologically born female. and it doesn't have multiple definitions. That is what man created. That is what society created. But the word of God stands, and they're trying to make wrong right and right wrong, but they'll never be able to do it. God is still up on the throne, and I'm not going to get into this video with a lot of different scriptures. You can go to the Bible. You probably already have and read many different scriptures on, what I'm speaking on. But what I am saying here, there are no multiple definitions. So please do not be deceived. And I like to also hear from some female sorority members. If you're part of sorority, did you go through any of this? Did you have to fight for your women's livelihood? Or was it, were you in a sorority before all of these changes start to take place in society? Because the thing is that, we are looking at that sin is a problem that man cannot solve. Period, point blank. Man cannot solve sin, but they want to appease to everybody else based on their wants. Not what's right, but based on their wants. And they're trying to change even the standards in the Bible, but they know that they can't. So they're changing the standards in the world. And we can't be deceived and follow the standards of the world if you know what I'm speaking on. There are God's standards, and then there are the standards of the world. And I talked about that in a video that I did that you could have probably saw. We have to be separate, have a separation from the world standards, and remove all filthiness and immorality. That all have to be removed. And so when we look at this situation, it's problematic. And so getting back to this, they said there wasn't enough research to be able to fully answer that question accurately, Gang said. Now, we know that there's a lot of research out there, and science tells us that. Besides the Bible, there is science, there is research, and the simple fact of the basics. You see what I'm saying? No man can have a baby. And they tried to say that this man could have a baby. And I think it was on TV or something. And I read an article last year that I shared on my YouTube channel, StandupBcounted too. And it was like, this was a female that wanted to be a male, and they decided to have a baby, her and her partner. And so she had to stop taking the hormones to be a male so that she could have a baby, because she was still a female. See what I'm saying? I'm telling you all, don't be deceived by this corrupt, morally declining world. I'm just telling you all some facts here. This is not just opinions. I'm giving you facts. The world, there's a moral decline in this world. It really is. And we're seeing it. It's not something that just, let me open my eyes and I just start to see it. It's been happening for a long time. And we see this. Now, but Independent Women's Forum is here on the ground as one of the leading women's organizations fighting for the sanctity of truth, fighting for and defending women's rights. And we are standing for privacy, for safety, and equal opportunity. We are standing for women. The stand that we are taking is pro-woman, not anti-anything or anyone, okay? Not anti-anything or anti-anyone, Gangs added. Former members of the KKG sorority initially sued the national organization in March 2023. And so this is not an anti-anything, hate or it's just telling the facts. And these are what I'm commenting on. This is public information, and I am commenting on it. And based on my beliefs and what I believe in, I have freedom of speech to do so. And I'm not here to spew hate on anyone or anything like that, because we know that other people have their views and other people have their views. And so the sorority members alleged in the original suit that Langford had been voyeuristically peeping on them while they were in intimate situations, and on at least one occasion had a visible erection while doing so. So this man, it was visible that his manhood had swollen up, and it was visible to the other biologically born females in the sorority. And so I would invite you all to leave your respectful comments below. Please do not leave any hate speech, over here, or vulgarity or anything like that, because your comment will be removed. YouTube will actually take it down as well. So there are some standards that need to be adhered to over here on this channel. So leave your respectful, smart, intelligent comments below on what you think about this article, this story, and just overall stories of what's happening with biologically born females. Leave your respectful comments. And I'd also like to hear from male and female on this, as well as any females that have joined sororities, that have been in sororities, that are still in the sorority, because I believe once you join, whether you leave college or not, graduate, you're still part of that sorority. So please let me know what you think. And for men, even though this is about a female sorority, let me know about what you think as far as, would you be willing to allow a female, biologically born female that wants to be a male to join a fraternity? How do you feel about that? What reactions do you think that you would get out of that as far as a fraternity that you belong to? So all are welcome to leave comments, but again, please leave respectful comments below. And again, this is not anything to hate on anyone. This is the reality of it, and we as biologically born women have to protect ourselves. Because what's next? The church, women's ministry. What's next? Women's small groups in and out of the church, women's colleges, all female colleges. What's next? So leave your respectful comments below. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button. Please share this video. And again, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button all. And I want to thank each and every one of my supporters, my subscribers, and thank you to all of my new subscribers that have joined. So don't forget to look out and join us with our next Bible study lesson, because we will be talking about that as well. God bless you all.